All right. We will endeavor to make sure that everybody can hear. Audio first. I like when these guys are like, are we on today? We're always on today, man. Look, unless I've been taken in by space aliens, we will always have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this time. Always. Hypercycle being manipulated by the company. They're not manipulated by the company. It's people buying and selling. It's always we gotta tackle this. Every single buy and sell by anyone is a narrow term manipulation. Dear God, man. You want it to go, when you sell something, you don't want it to go up. You're done with it. I know, right? Like God. Let me make sure that these other ones have the YouTube link. Let me make sure they've got it because maybe we're not all turned on at Money Moanin'. Here we go. There. Hello, everyone. Hello. We will prevail. And also, when you guys do this private, when you use the private link, if you want to come back later, then you can just use that same private link. But don't share it, man. That's for y'all. That's just for y'all. Hello. There's no manipulating. Oh, God. Let me see. Are we live? Is today a holiday? Oh, crap. Today might be a holiday. Today is a holiday. Maybe. Juneteenth, right? Is it Juneteenth? I think it is. Isn't Monday? I think it's a holiday. Not here. We are live on YouTube. Email is not. Okay, well, don't worry about it. Just jump on here. I'll post the link one more time. We're going to get this right. You guys know I don't do anything but crypto. That is all I do. That's all I care about. I mean, I care about, I'm going to Mexico. Going to Mexico Thursday. But you need to use, but that won't change anything. The shows will still go on as normal. The YouTube link today might be a holiday for the team. I'll post the link a fourth time. Well, anyway, hello to those brave few who made it. Okay, what will we talk about today? Well, we'll talk about the markets because we always do. We will talk about, we got some cool game theory examples today. One is game theory in a kind of common traffic situation, but one that especially happens in less developed countries where people run red lights. So we're going to look at the game theory of that, and we're going to look at how game theory principles support the idea of dollar cost averaging strategies. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's cool. And then, but that'll be at the end. We'll do our temperature check. We're going to talk a little bit about AI news, obviously, because Meta released a text-to-speech AI that is apparently so good that they will not open source it because it's too dangerous. That's right. 2GD dangerous. Which, okay. Okay. All right. So we'll say hello. Let's do our commercial, non-commercial, commercial breaks, and we'll get back to the guts of it. I think we should start off with our temperature check. Yeah, well, anyway, let's do, for those of you that haven't heard the cool song, I'm going to play the cool song. So this will be the long opening. It's almost 90 seconds. Whew. For those of you that have a bad attention span, I guess I'll see you Wednesday. For those of you that can maintain 90 seconds, I'll see you in a second. No, I'll see you in 90 seconds.
Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet. Hey, hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and driving Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Prophet to get some profit, we couldn't change the topic. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it poppin', we chillin' in the drop. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket, by any means I rock. This is the Prophet with Nick Black, it's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks, this where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet.
All right. So, I'm going to do some more experimenting with this AI voice stuff. Oh, by the way, because the AI voice cloning and all that kind of stuff is getting so good, man, be very careful. You're going to get a lot of robocalls that sound like real people. You're going to get a lot of, I don't know, you're going to get a lot of, just be very careful. Be careful about phone calls. Be careful about, God, it's just getting to the point where you can't trust anything. So be very careful. Remember, everybody wants to steal all your stuff all the time. Period. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I guess I can see that. So good morning. Morning. Lots of mornings. Good morning to everyone. Well, depending on where you are, I suppose if you're not here, then you're somewhere else. Hey, even though it doesn't matter because it's not really, those of you that are here, put a like on the video unless you don't like it. If you don't like it, put a don't like on the video. But either way, put something so that I can get a tally of the people that are watching versus the people. Yes, Tim, I am real. But then again, that's exactly what a complex AGI, digital superintelligence, would want you to think, Tim. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. So put a like or a dislike on the video. I don't really care which one you do because it doesn't matter because we don't monetize this. This is now almost predominantly used either as a side way that we send out another way to send out these shows on a private basis to those of you that are digital heavyweights. And then on the Tuesday, Thursday shows, we push that out. Yeah, so there we go. All right. Cool. That said, how will this change business transactions? How do we know we are dealing with the legit business? Well, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of distrust. Some of these, I mean, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be some regulation where companies have to disclose whether it's AI communicating with people. And if they don't disclose that, they're going to be liable. Yeah. And the, it's not a new name. It's a way that the other website thing that I've got, that's just a way for me to keep, I can keep track of everybody. And then if I have to push out a link or something weird, or I go on vacation and I can't through Monday morning. That's not how it works. Like, I can tell them stuff. They can tell you stuff. I can't tell you stuff. So this is just a way for me to tell you stuff. I say, hey, I'm going to be, like, for instance, I'm going to be on vacation Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But the broadcasting will be the same. I'll just be in Mexico. but everything should be fine. Although the audio is not going to be as super sweet and silky smooth like it is right here. So yeah, identify as analog. You know what? Well played, Dana. You just won the internet. Okay, so let's get into it. I think we should probably take a look at the market. We will do our temperature check first. So I need a bumper. I need a little, like a 10-second thing for temperature check. But obviously, these are my opinions on this one, man. So let's not get all wonky. Now, here's how we participate in when we do the temperature check. So first thing is, I'm just going to go through and show you if anything looked interesting, which there's not much. We don't care. I will also tell you what I'm just going to do a real quick expensive, inexpensive. Like inexpensive means it's inexpensive based on value, or let's make it even easier. I will say value, undervalued, overvalued. How about that? And we'll just bang our way through the list. Yeah, so there we go. Let's get that one going. Let me find my little buttons. Let me click all the right buttons, then we'll get into AI news and do some other cool stuff. But first, man, let us take a quick look at the market. Yes, there's a link. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me post the link. I have to post it 462,000 times. All right. There. Link again. Yes, there's a link. Anytime. Steven, all of you, if you scroll up and down in the chat, anytime you're not sure where the show is, scroll up and down. You will find a link. You will find a link. You will succeed. All right. Valued, undervalued. Let's take a look. Bitcoin. Well, I think Bitcoin is probably undervalued at here. Now, I'm not going to tell you about relative price action, especially moving into the future, because no one can. Anybody that tries to tell you what the price is going to be based on squiggly line back-facing metrics is absurdly flawed. It's a problem with the way that their brain works. It's a logic problem. I mean, it's an actual logic problem. Now, if they're doing that to sell you wolf tickets, if they're doing that to sell you something, well, then you have the logic problem because you bought into it. Nobody can tell you what the price of an asset's going to be in the future. There's a lot of extraneous factors. There's a lot of groupthink. There's a lot of exogenous events that can occur. There is no forward pricing mechanism other than gut. And that is just doing as many kinds of analysis that you think are relevant. Because since no one knows, no one has a great predictor. The best thing that I've found is to use the 5 T's. And then, if you think an asset can achieve use, utility, and wide scale adoption, and you do the 5 T's, you have a greater likelihood of success among assets, which are 3 things. What are the 3 things that all of these assets in the crypto space have in common? They are blank, blank, traded by blank, 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 blank. I know you guys will nail this because you are super smart. And those of you who are not, I don't mean you're not super smart, but not nailing it, maybe you're new. Maybe we're welcoming you for the first time. I don't know. Anyway, illiquid assets on illiquid exchanges traded by sketchy, leveraged, and mostly dubious individuals. That's like 98% of the crypto space. So just know that the reason that there is a chance that you make so many multiples in this space is because there's so much bad math. There's so many idiots. There are just a lot of dummies. I don't even like telling people that I'm in the crypto space. It's kind of unfortunately embarrassing Now, and it, God, another thing too is it's so weird. Like, I won't get off on a tangent, but have you noticed now that it's easier just to not talk about crypto at all, period? When people are, what do you, nah, I'm not going to, just don't go into it. And when people try to take you along that path, don't do it. Don't bite. Talk macro. Only talk macro. But yes, illiquid assets on illiquid exchanges traded by sketchy individuals. And yeah, that's the idea. Is it's all about what might happen. And you can get into entropy. Entropy is a good, like you have many micro states that make up a macro state, and all this kind of depends on physics. Plays a very interesting role in doesn't matter. It's very interesting to see how a lot of the concepts in physics apply to economics over big giant piles of people, right? We have enough people are very statistically accurately, their behavior is pretty accurate. The reason this doesn't work into pricing mechanisms, things like that, like the reason why you can't take that aggregate human behavior, at least we can't yet, and apply that to markets, is because information is not, there's not information symmetry. We don't all have like the information principle that all the information's priced in all the time, and that the markets are a good and accurate pricing mechanism is not the reality, because as we know, a lot of people trade off of information that we don't have access to. There are tools that we don't have access to, although less of those apply in the crypto space, but those tools still exist. And there's more information in the digital asset space. That's certainly true. There's less liquidity. And there are big macroeconomic factors that we have no control over that other people trade against because they have insider information and things like that. So we don't have information symmetry. The best chance we have is the crypto space. And even then, we just don't have real information, complete information symmetry. But at least we can see immediately after something happened what happened. So we can see the crypto space move around and jostle in real time. That's very valuable. But we're not on the same playing field as, like insiders at Ripple that are selling their assets that are selling tokens that you gave them money to fund their company. They're selling those tokens to other people underneath the market at 30% discount with no lockups, and F you for asking, right? Like, no wonder they're in court. Now they can argue whatever they want, but at the end of the day, you have to kind of like wise up. Like, they absolutely stole from every single XRP investor. The fact that people get behind Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson is absolutely mind-boggling. They became billionaires at your expense, and you're cool with it. I don't mean you, but like the generalized you. Isn't that crazy? Does that not? I don't know why that doesn't make anybody very angry. And I get it. Oh, it's going to change the world, great reset and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it sounds good if you're a dumb redneck on a John Deere tractor. But in the real world, you go, that's stupid. That's just stupid. The great reset isn't going to happen on some rando sidechainy project that 6 dudes have control over, because the fat, rich, white dudes that control most everything, that have names that are familiar since early America, are absolutely not letting Brad and Chris into the cool guys club. Being a billionaire doesn't mean anything. Not these days. There's tons of them. Isn't that sad? Isn't it sad that you can make it and be a billionaire? It means nothing. Anyway, let's go valued, undervalued. Bitcoin. I think undervalued, but I'm not buying it because I don't see the multiples. So again, just because something's undervalued doesn't mean the multiples are there. Valued, overvalued. Ethereum, overvalued. XRP, hard to say. I think way overvalued, but we won't know till after the lawsuit. And now, oh God. Anyway, whatever. Probably undervalued in the near term, because the result of the lawsuit, good or bad, will probably be a sigh of relief for the community. And my guess is this token probably approaches $1. It shouldn't. It doesn't have it. It has utility, but there's not any. I mean, there's no use. You look at the XRP on-chain metrics. It's not. No one's using it. So their whole argument, like XRP can exist without Ripple. Okay, cool, but it's not doing anything. No one apparently is using it. So I guess I don't get it. And the reason it's not 8 cents right now is because people are playing. They're playing the reset game, I guess. So there you go. All right. Let me put one more link in the heavyweight chat. Okay, cool. So here we are back again. So undervalued near term, yes. Undervalued, in my opinion, way undervalued. On-chain metrics, everything looked good. The team looks good. Like everything still looks great about Cardano, but you're having some delisting stress, some things like that. Also, there's going to be some tokens sold. Celsius is unwinding a bunch of their positions. As you know, Alex Mashinsky and all the other effing thieves over there that basically got busted. I like how they just go bankrupt. They're like, we've been busted. The Ponzi's broken. Bankrupt. We're bankrupt. You're not bankrupt. You stole. Bunch of dick bags. You guys stole and got caught. Now you're bankrupt and you're just going to walk away. Alex is going to get indicted. Just wait. It won't be the same as Do Kwon, but it's going to be determined. He will be indicted. Guarantee you. Anyway, whatever. So they're going to unwind some positions, and because and some other exchanges probably unwind some Cardano, some Matic, some of these other assets that were listed by the SEC's weird kind of trolling. This is a security. This isn't. That was more about finding ways for the SEC to launch missiles at Binance, and less about, because Cardano will fight that, Matic will fight that. A lot of these companies, again, Gary can paint with a wide brush. It's up to the courts to determine whether he's right in a specific instance, and it's up to legislators to like create laws and legislate and create some kind of regulatory framework that we can all fall under. Okay, Doge, no one cares. Matic, I think it's near term, like next month, 2 months, probably overvalued. But I think long-term undervalued, because the only way Ethereum succeeds is if these layer 2s succeed. There is no foreseeable future where Ethereum competently scales, because if they do, the price doesn't need to be $1,700. That makes no sense. Should be about $100. Period. Full stop. You just don't. It's not that valuable. That's never made sense to me. It's only valuable because the network is a quagmonic effing mess and everything is expensive, and they just don't feel like they need to change this. I get whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Polkadot, nope. Monero, nope. Cosmos, I think undervalued. Still doing great on the year. I think undervalued. Filecoin, undervalued. Near. If I wasn't stuck in staking, I would have dumped all my Near. So I would say overvalued. I think it probably gets below $1. VeChain, hard to say, but China reopening was a complete farce, like a fail, like a really bad, abject failure. And by the way, your gurus were telling you about Chinese reopening, Chinese stimulus. Your gurus don't know much. Be careful. There's just a lot of bad analysis. Oh, just so bad. Anyway, whatever. Graph token. I think undervalued. It's hard to say. This is one of those tokens where not only do competent investors like it, but also the douchebaggery, the group of sentiment-based Tikatuari, the scumbags that I've got 5 coins for $5 million. Shut up, dick. Like those guys, they seem to like it too. Why? They like it because it's cheap. They like it because they look at the top and go, you got to $3, it'll get to $3 again, mate, and I'll be rich. Guess what? Most of those guys don't own any of the things they tell you to buy. They don't care. They're just selling these little membership things. They don't give a crap if you fail and fall on your face, because there's more suckers they can sell to. Anyway, Algorand, undervalued in my opinion. They got to turn that ship around. It's not looking so great. Render, overvalued. Way overvalued, I think, but whatever. It's a sentiment pumpy Twitter coin. Flow, God, I don't know if there's a price I would pay. Not yet. Maybe 10 cents, 20 cents. Still overvalued. I don't think I'm ever selling my flow position. I spent like 30, 40 grand on it. It's just such a loser. I'm not buying any more of it. I'll tell you that. Now they can make some adjustments, but I doubt that they will. Ocean, undervalued in my opinion, but still way up from where we started. We started on this thing like 14, 15 cents. Digital, data, collection, payment. A data marketplace makes sense. Data is a commodity, or at least it will be. So I would just give it a look. If you're not familiar with it, it's worth looking at. Zcash, no. Singularity Net, yes. Undervalued, I think so. If anybody caught the AGI conference, pretty cool stuff. I mean, a lot of it was really up in the clouds, but it's still cool stuff. Optimism is a yes. I like equal position with Matic. I think that the partnership, but I think that the connection between Optimism and Coinbase is not an insignificant one. Oh, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, you know that BlackRock, does everybody know that BlackRock filed for their ETF? You guys know that, the Bitcoin ETF, right? Well, Fidelity just jumped in. They're going to be doing a filing as well. So I think that's interesting. I always thought Fidelity would get it. Oh, by the way, also Fidelity may be absorbing Grayscale. They may be buying Grayscale, absorbing their assets. I think it would be very interesting if Fidelity snatches up Grayscale. Fidelity files their, that's out of order. They file their Bitcoin ETF for a spot ETF application. BlackRock, which obviously knows if they're going to get, now listen, if Gensler and his team of dullards, if they turn down BlackRock, Gary Gensler's days are numbered. You don't say no to that group. If you think Goldman Sachs is sketchy? You think Goldman Sachs has little tendrils? Goldman Sachs is where all the crooks work. BlackRock is a key. I mean, they own everything, and they either own it or they are in control of it or they have a market against it. I mean, they're in there. So I don't know if I don't think they say no to BlackRock. And who's doing custody for the BlackRock Bitcoin spot ETF? That's going to be Coinbase. So you think Coinbase is going anywhere? No, brah. No. Let's see. Why was your video about UAI so confusing? It made no sense. Orange Juice Investigator. I didn't write it. It made no sense. It didn't make a lot of sense to me either. However, if you saw it in December, you made 1,000% on your money. So whether it made sense or not, if you acted on it, you made 1,000% on your money. So if all you got out of the ubiquitous AI video was Fetch, Newnet, AGIX, and or what? If that's all you got 1,000% on your money. I'm not apologizing for anybody getting 1,000% on their money. Sometimes what they do when they write those is they try to usher in some new language, some new lingo, and you think, well, why would they do that? These are industry terms. Well, sometimes they do it because they want it to stick out in your mind. Does that make sense? So it's not so. Sometimes it seems clunky, and if you're much more comfortable in the crypto space, then you probably watch that thing and go, God, half of that thing was weird. It was very weird. Imagine how weird it was for me to read it. It was very weird. But it made everyone 1,000+%. So I'm not apologizing. If you make a 10x on your money, you're never going to get an apology from me. You're never going to get an apology from me anyway, because I'm far too prideful, which I think is a sin, but I don't believe in all that anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, you got a weekly business email. Well, you don't need all that stuff. If you're hanging out with digital heavyweights, why would you don't need it? You're like, oh, we talked about that 7 months ago. Yeah, we did. I think AGIX is undervalued. Yes. And we're going to do, in a second, we're going to do our temperature check. David asks, what is a BlackRock with the Bill platform where we can buy and sell? There's a lot going on in that question, David. What's your thoughts, or have they already developed one? Okay, let me try to distill what I think is the question. Are you saying, is there a platform to buy and sell cryptocurrency that has to do with BlackRock? No, but they're partnered with Coinbase. So Coinbase, like Coinbase. Everybody here, I think, would behoove you all to endeavor to have a Coinbase account, a Kraken account, a KuCoin account. Obviously, have your MetaMask account set up. Get a hardware wallet. I like the Engrave N0, not an advertisement. For those of you that have IRA money that's stuck, or you want to unstuck it, I would look up Bitcoin IRA. They're buddies of mine. They're badass. Again, I don't make anything from it. There ain't no affiliate link because it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, I like that team and I trust that team. They're the only ones I trust. Best for AI from this list. Well, there's not we'll get into that in a second. How about, we'll get into that when we do our temperature check here in just a minute. Thoughts on gaming layer ones. Gaming layer ones don't make sense to me, Chris. There's layer ones. There's not gaming layer ones, because gaming is not some new, unique technological, like, you don't need some gaming specific protocol, because that doesn't make sense. You need a layer one to run on top of. So gaming layer ones is marketing bullshit. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. They don't offer any decent coins. They have like 60. They have like 60 coins. And yeah, Engrave does need to open it up more. That's I use a variety of MetaMask wallets and things like that. That seems to be a good way for me to control assets, and I get stuff staked. I don't have a lot of exposure, because you don't want to get nuked by some hacker, some scammer. So you want to just limit your attack vectors, your attack surfaces. Anyway, there we go. All right. Arweave. It's distributed data, so I like it. Raven, so I think it's undervalued here. Matter of fact, my next DCA, I am going to probably add some Arweave. I've decided. I don't know how much, but I like it. Ravencoin, no. Fetch. Here, based on what I've seen out of Fetch recently, I'm not getting super good vibes. I mean, they're way up. We made a lot of money on it. I'm not getting great vibes, but you don't fight AI in the year of AI. Therefore, I'm not selling it, but I'm not adding, other than dollar cost averaging, which you're getting like 10%. If you're staking through Cosmosation, you're getting 10%, which is pretty good. I mean, you are through staking, you're effectively you're investing, right? Because you could take those staked funds and you could put them somewhere else. Harmony One is a lottery ticket, but I like it. Is it undervalued or overvalued? I think it's probably correctly valued. I think it's worth about a penny. My guess is in a more expansionary, more bullish market, then people would get behind it a little bit, because I think Ethereum can't on its own scale, and it will need layer twos. And also, you look at this market cap at 146 million, it's tiny. So if it gets anything, it probably gets 5 cents, 10 cents, and that ain't bad. And the staking's pretty good. Again, you can house that on your MetaMask wallet by simply opening up and adding the Harmony One network. Does that make sense? So MetaMask isn't just for Ethereum, right? Layer twos can also be, so you can add BNB coin, you can add Optimism, you can add Matic, you can add Harmony. There's a bunch of different networks you can add. Be careful that you're not adding random crap. Also be careful, as a little FYI, if you see tokens appear in your wallet, don't mess with them. Sometimes those are little scams to try to get you to start clicking on there, clicking links, going, collecting airdrops, and it's more bull crap that's just meant to steal from you. Numeraire, not interesting to me. Singularity DAO, interesting, but not yet. They're coming out with a version 2 where you will probably need to own the token in order to do this kind of soft staking, unlock staking, which isn't staking, but it's kind of marketing, budgety kind of crap. Anyway, they are moving more towards DeFi. Matter of fact, there is a DEX coming, I think, from Singularity DAO. They're gonna have their own DEX, which I hope, because that'd be cool. And I like Mario and Marcelo. I like Mario a lot. Like, Mario knows his stuff. So they're working on some cool stuff over there. So I am excited about that. But right now, I think it's appropriately valued. I think I'm not adding. Yeah, I'm not adding. I sold it. I'd have to go look. But I think it's 50. Crap. I don't remember now, but I think it was in the high 40s or the 50s. But I'm only selling my staking rewards. I'm not selling my original investment. My original investment is staying put. So I think it's probably appropriately valued. Rejuve, I still think it's overvalued. I think this thing's got to be in the ones before anybody should take a look at it. I am buying it through Hypercycle rewards. Because as that stretches out, you're now getting what? Not quite 17 to 1, 16 to 1. It's not bad. So I'm just taking my Hypercycle rewards each day and putting them into Rejuve. Once I get to a certain number, I will stop, and then I'll just stockpile my Hypercycle rewards. Somebody in the chat earlier was like, Hypercycle's manipulating the value. Well, how is the company manipulating it? Do you think the company's buying the token on their own to raise? So they're buying the token from themselves? That doesn't even make any sense. Why the token's been banging up recently is because people are buying tokens that they're going to start putting in nodes for tilling, for earning extra income, because people like income. So I don't know why. Yeah, anyway, whatever. And then NewNet, I think, is in the place where you could buy it. The unbonded staking is like 4.7 something. It's not terrible. 4.6, 4.5, whatever. It's in that range where I'd rather get it than not. CGV's total dumpster fire fail so far, but only because the leadership is so weak. Let me rephrase. Let me walk that back. That was unnecessarily vigilant. I think the leadership is technically inept. They understand banking. They have no understanding of crypto. Period. Full stop. Zero. Zilch. Nada. However, they are kind of part of the Singularity Net community. And I say kind of because they did all this stuff on their own. They did their launch they basically went at the final minute and went over to Singularity DAO and said, hey, let's launch. They did all their fundraising on their own. They made all their decisions on their own, like not launching an Ethereum-based token, things like that. They made a lot of bad decisions because they are injured through intelligence. They're all HSBC executives, which already is a huge red flag for me. So right now they're a fail. Their token is the least successful launch that Singularity Net has had, and that is a direct corollary to the brain power. So when you do your 5 T's, it is lacking. It is quite lacking. I hope that they change that. So, but right now, what is the price valued or undervalued? I think it's probably still overvalued. I don't know what this thing is worth because I don't know a path. I don't know a path to profit. I don't know if the idea of I've always grappled with this, of having stable coins pegged to non-currencies like global warming, climate change, carbon, things like that. I don't know if that makes sense for enough people to invest in them. It doesn't sound exciting to me. I don't want to grow my portfolio at a glacial pace, right? Like, oh, there's 1.8% melting of glaciers. Therefore, you're going to make 1.8% this year. F you, 1.8%. even the just debasement, just the printing of currency has got to be over 2.5, 3. You're getting nuked there. No thanks. And what happens when there's a disorderly unwind in the asset? People want to hit the exit. People want to, what happens then? Oh, well, it's algorithmically nothing. None of these algorithmic anythings have done well. They've all collapsed. All of them, every single one, see that or buy. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that they assumed because these guys were bankers that these guys would make the right hires and do things like that. I am not fond of, I know a lot of bankers. I know a lot of people in banking. I have never been, well, I'm not going to say I'm not fond of some of them. I have some friends that are bankers. I will say that I don't have many friends that are bankers that are intellectual. I could probably, I can count them on one hand. 2. And one of them's a maybe. 1, I know one banker that I think is an intellectual. It's a she. I can say this with certainty, none of the bankers that have an X and a Y chromosome, as far that I know, do I trust as far as I could throw them out into the ocean. They're just not, they're just simple. They're just freaking simple. And that makes sense. The culture of banking is one that tends to not promote intelligence because it's looked at as a threat to your career, to your longevity. It is what it is. When you, it's the same. It's the reason why most everything that exits Goldman Sachs is garbage, because they have a bro network of scummy thieves. It is what it is. Like them or not, well, not. But that's where you go if you want to get rich. You get a job at Goldman Sachs, and no matter what you do, no matter how bad you fail, you'll be fine. Raoul Pal, failure. Novogratz, failure. I mean, just go down the list. Failure, fired, failure, drug use, failure, alcohol, failure. All of them, failure. Corrupt politics in all sorts of countries. People getting fired, indicted, fired, doesn't matter. Where do they end up? They end up in platinum parachutes all the time. These guys, they end up rich. They end up at BlackRock. They end up, as lobbyists. They end up running funds because people forget, because people don't care. They go, oh, that guy managed $1 billion. Yeah, he lost 10 billion. Yeah, but he managed $1 billion. He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire because he stole all of your shit. Yeah, but he's a billionaire. Oh my God. People don't seem to be able to put the Lego blocks together. It's so bad. Oh man, if I had less scruples, that's the path I would have gone on. I probably should have. I don't know. It is what it is. I guess there's rich and rich enough. I don't know what rich enough looks like. God. Anyway, let's do our temperature check. So let's pivot just a second. Remember though, please, that the temperature check, these are my opinions, man. And the number is not going to equal 100. The number equals, our level of enthusiasm from week to week on these assets.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Okay. Let us start here. Now, in this one, I want you to play along at home if you can. So, the $100 portfolio, it doesn't mean if you have $100 to put these amounts in each one. What it is it's just a way of wrapping your mind around our level of excitement or displeasure over some of these assets. Like it, don't like it, this and that. You can kind of rate it. And the temperature check is you kind of rate it based on your gut feeling. Does that make sense? Sarah, that by the way, that That's the only banker that I think is intellectual. Just so you know, the cat's out of the bag. All right. So here we go. The Cardano. I'm still very, very excited. I have very positive feelings about that team. I just don't think there's a better team. Not in the traditional layer 1 space. Have I agreed with everything that they've done? No. Now, my enthusiasm is going to go down by a point. Why? Because they have to fight some exchange listings and they have to fight a little bit of unwind activity. Like when Celsius, I think they're going to dump $20 million worth of tokens. That doesn't mean anything. The reason why there were 2 is because originally this was the $200 portfolio. So the first column was percentage. The other, I don't know why there's 2 anymore. That's a good question, Larry. There doesn't really need to be 2. But I feel like if I touch it twice, it might make more sense. Ooh, what I should do is last week and now. Ooh, good idea. Even though it wasn't your idea, but kind of was your idea, Larry. Hold on. Let's evolve. Can you see that? Let me look and make sure. Graph tokens at the bottom. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Look, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say last week, this week. Ooh, look at us evolving. See if we can get that centered. We do this on the fly, bro. Woo woo. Look at us jamming. Okay, so that's the new thing. Last week, this week. So this one is a 15. Okay, so you can see our enthusiasm. My enthusiasm is slightly less. Okay. How about that? How about that evolution? Look at us evolving. All right. Ethereum, 2. Yes, Algorand. I don't know. It still looks tasty to me. I think I'm going to keep it even. Matic, some unwind pressure there. I think Celsius is going to dump like 5 million tokens. So that's going to be, I'm going to drop that down a little bit. There's going to be some price pressure. Sorry. Matic. Some price pressure there. Yeah. ETH is a 1. I know, Ronald. But I leave. You need it right now. You need Ethereum to do transactions. It sucks. It is the way it is. There's no way around it. Matic, yeah, Matic could be a 0. I mean, it just depends. I'm not as much of a fan of the team as I was. I used to be a bigger fan of the Matic team, but a lot of their partnerships don't tend to be anything. They don't turn out to be anything. Cosmos, it's same. Optimism, probably same. No changes there. One, man, I don't know. Just got to be very careful. I think these basically stay the same. Not much has changed in the market. As far as that's concerned. Fetch, yes. AGIX, I'm still quite bullish. Remember, at some point you're going to get loyalty rewards for Cogito, loyalty rewards for Sophiaverse, loyalty rewards for Hypercycle, loyalty rewards for Rejuve. I thought the Rejuve team would have that actually figured out sooner. It's very strange to me that they haven't. I think they're botching it. I think the Rejuve team is not. I think they're blowing it a little bit, which may present an opportunity. Singularity DAO, it's even for me, but I think if they get closer to releasing their new kind of platform, I think that might be more exciting. Sophiaverse, for anyone that's interested, is going to be, I think, end of the second week. It looks like end of the second week in July, but that's not a firm date yet. They're watching the markets. They're trying to make sure they do all their code audits and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to launch an Ethereum based token, which is the correct way to do it. So yes, this is the end of second week. I think that one's going to be quite successful. I think that one's probably going to be kind of hypercycle level success, but I think it'll be more subscribed. People can wrap their minds around metaverse and gaming and fun and shenanigans and all that. Sophiaverse is a fun project. I think it's going to get a lot of attention. Yeah. Okay. NewNet is a 5. I think NewNet is probably at this point a 6. Hypercycle, same. I'm taking my rewards and I'm rolling them. There's a lot of partnership announcements coming for Hypercycle. I'll just say that. I can't say what because I've been sworn to a blood oath, but I can say that there's cool stuff coming. Of course, that's an announcement of the announcement. So never take those with more than a grain of salt. Rejuve, I mean, it's almost to the point where it's so cheap, it might be worth looking at. I think it needs to get under. I mean, I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a lottery tickets chance. Cogito is still a 0. They got to do something, man. Instead of making excuses for their shitty launch, they got to do something. And the doing something part doesn't seem to be, look, you have a bad launch, communicate with people. Hey, listen, we made some mistakes. We're going to rectify that. Don't just go silent and hide. Stupid. Anyway, Sophia Verse, I am excited. Filecoin, it's probably more. I like it more than I liked it last week. I am buying it. Arweave, I like it. Ocean, same. Graph token, same. So not much of a change there. I'm just kind of watching things. The world is in a recession, fellow friends, buddies. The world is in a recession. Do we think Awakening Health will get a token? It's a good question, John. I don't know that it needs a token. It might, or it might be an equity play. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I think NewNet's great. They're just far off. What do I mean by Celsius dumping tokens? Celsius is going to dump tokens. They are going to sell their altcoins back. They're selling all of their altcoins back to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Beth, I don't know if they've sent out emails to that, but they have. That is happening. July 1st. I don't know if July 1st is the date, but something like July 1st or 2nd, I think, is when they will melt. It's like 50 plus million in Matic, like 20 million in ADA. There's some other assets too. It's not just those two. Those are just the two that were on my list because those are two that I own, and I thought that many of you might own them, and that might be important to you. Yeah. So, you got to factor those in. Yeah. Okay. Lots to kind of absorb, but the main crux of it is not much has changed. Listen, when you're looking at these markets, don't feel like you need to rush in because prices are low. You don't know what prices are. None of it. Seems low. If you look back a few months, if you look back 6 months, it seems low. If you look back 2 years, it seems real low. If you look back 3 years, it doesn't seem low. So be careful that you don't put on the blinders of narrow time horizon. Don't do that. We'll see. Fountain. I have not. Okay. All right. Let's switch up gears. Let's do some. We really need to get into our game theory, but I'm going to do some quick AI news. So let's go into the AI news. Let me quickly fill your brain boxes with some cool AI stuff, and then we will move on from there. Okay, what's going on in AI news? I'm going to get through this quick. One, Meta says their new AI voice model is too dangerous to release. We can talk about the EU Act summary. There's some other cool stories. A lot of papers were released. A lot of good stuff. So Meta says their new model is too dangerous. It's too good. It's 20 times more effective, they say. There are many exciting use cases for generative speech models, but because of the potential risks of misuse, we are not making the voice box model or code publicly available at this time. Meta announced the development of a new AI tool, VoiceBox. It's like JuiceBox, designed for generating and editing spoken dialogue. Okay, cool. Unlike previous voice generating platforms, VoiceBox has a unique ability to perform speech generation tasks that it was not explicitly trained on. What? Emergence? You guys are hearing the idea of emergence come up more and more. Good. VoiceBox has a unique ability to perform speech generation tasks that have emerged. When a user inputs text and provides a short audio clip as context, VoiceBox can clone the sample into new speech that closely resembles the voice featured in the sound clip. This is why I was telling you guys last week that a company that just has like voice cloning and all that, why the F are they raising money? Why is anyone giving them money? Everyone has, if you have AI and large language models and deep neural nets and neurosymbolic learning engines, all of this shit is going to be available to everyone. None of it is unique enough to raise $100 million. You jackasses, not you here. I mean, like in these idiots in Europe that gave some dumbass company like 91 million euro for some stupid, like just, it's so mind-bogglingly stupid. People will throw money at anything. You're like, yeah, but that's just going to be a feature on like ChatGPT. It's going to be like a plugin. No, we want this one random company that has like, we're going to give them $100 million. Why? Chat, they've got 35 billion. This crappy company's not going to compete. Everything is a couple of hours away with AI when you can talk to code and talk to video and talk to voice and talk to talk. If you can talk something into code, if you can talk that code into a website or an app, then can anybody here come up with anything unique? No, because anything you can come up with, any idea is just a few conversations away from being code, publishing to GitHub. There is no more original stuff. It's just iterative now. So, man, please don't invest in stupid shit. There's so much stuff. Well said, Philip. Well said indeed. So anyway, let's continue with the AI. It just boggles my mind with the stuff that people throw money at. Anyway, the company's deemed it not ready for public release. That's the VoiceBox. Due to the potential for abuse. This may be in anticipation of the response of EU's AI Act, which holds social media companies more accountable, more responsible for content that is generated by users on their platform or with their software. Talk to sex. Hell yeah. Hashtag. Remember the movie where Joaquin Phoenix like fell in love with his OS, his operating system? I want an OS. I want to date my OS. No, I don't want to date my OS. God. Anyway, key features of VoiceBox. Speech generated model based on Meta's non-auto regressive flow matching model. It excels various speech tasks by leveraging in-context learning through a text-guided speech in filling tasks with large amounts of data. VoiceBox surpasses single language AI models and synthesizes speech across 6 languages. That's kind of cool. Where this is going to be really cool is in translation. Like when you're watching a movie and you want to see it translated and sound kind of cool, it'll be in the person's voice, the translations, so it won't seem as weird and clunky. And they also have software that changes the mouth to be correct. Like it's going to be so cool. Anyway, it has the ability to remove transient noise, edit content, transfer audio style both within and across languages. Compared to other, quasi state-of-the-art auto-regressive models, VoiceBox generates speech up to 20 times faster. That is effing fast. And you guys know last week I was playing with play.ht, which lets you upload some video or some audio content, and then it just clones your voice. It's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. So anyway, cool. But it'd be nice to leave email. It would be nice if you get an email from someone to just click a button and hear in their voice them they'll talk the email to you. That'd be kind of cool. Grandma's like, "Merry Christmas, Sonny." And you're like, "It's not Christmas, but thank you, Grandma. It's actually not even my birthday. It's Groundhog Day." "Well, Merry Groundhog Day." You're like, "You don't say that, Grandma. You're on meth." Anyway, here's some takeaways of the EU's AI Act. European Union's Artificial Intelligence Act, a ban on emotion recognition AI in policing, schools, and workplaces. You know for an effing fact that that's not going down. They will absolutely have emotion recognition AI, so that's silly. A ban on real-time biometrics and predictive policing in public spaces. bullshit, because they'll do it and they'll put it under the guise of public security and safety and anti-terrorism and anti-crime. Ban on social scoring by public agencies. Well, China has been doing it for years, so that's bullshit. AI cannot be trained on copyrighted material. Well, that's bullshit because it's already happened. Social media companies must be more responsible for user-generated content. This is just a way for the EU to sue Meta. That whole thing was bullshit. It's just a way for the EU to sue Meta. That's all that is. Why don't you just say the EU Act to sue Meta? Because all of the other stuff is garbage and will never happen in real life. It's like saying we make it illegal for police to profile. Oh, okay. How do they do policing? By profiling. Hey, that car's swerving. Looks sketchy. Let's pull that dude over. You get it. You know how it works. You drive a sketchy ass car and you swerve, your ass is getting booked for nothing. And there are many places in America where if you're the wrong color, the wrong skin tone, your ass is getting tackled. Period. It's not right, but it is. Be honest with yourselves. Like, God, no policing, no biometrics, no anything. How stupid is the EU? What talk about a lot of effort for something that will never get anyway. Okay, moving on. Intel's doubling down on chip manufacturing. They've announced this plan to invest $4.6 billion in a new chip plant in Poland. Although that takes a long time to roll these bad boys out. So you can just imagine that's not going to be online for years and years and years. So near term means nothing. China welcomes Microsoft. China's President Xi welcomed U.S. AI technology in a discussion with Bill Gates about AI and Microsoft's business development in China amidst strained U.S.-China relations and a tightened grip on the internet sector in China. Okay, great. The Grammy goes to AI. The Recording Academy announced new Grammy Award rules allowing AI contributions to be nominated, but requiring evidence of substantial human involvement. What the F does that even mean? We need to know that there's substantial human involvement. Humans created AI. Good enough for me. The Emmy goes to. Shouldn't it just be based on like what music people like? Who cares who generated it or where? Shouldn't it just be that song's cool? I like it. I vote for it. It's a beauty contest, people. All right. AI as a new class of security threat. The rise of generative AI is escalating security threats with hackers using artificial intelligence to enhance phishing and fraud techniques. Definitely true. Automated social engineering attacks. Also true. And more efficient generation of malicious code, causing a loss of social trust. Well, no shit. Does anybody trust anything that they see now? Like all this UFO bullshit? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Buddy, guy, friends. Does anybody trust? It's always the same dude with the fedora talking to Russell Brand or like on Fox and Friends, like, I saw it with my own two eyes. I was a fighter pilot. I don't care. Do you think it's weird that we had all these UFOs and then the minute everybody got cell phones, the UFOs stopped for like a decade? And now that we have all of this really cool editing software, the aliens are back. I'm not saying that there's a correlation, but doesn't it just make you think just for a second, are we being visited or are we just being visited by really cool software? Like, really think about it, man. No UFOs. Then all of a sudden in the 50s, because some guy threw up a frying pan and photographed it, UFOs. Then smartphones. And no more UFOs. None. Well, not no more UFOs. No more aliens, right? Apparently all the cattle mutilation stopped. All the people having dreams that they got, prodded up there, that all stopped. And then now that we have cool tech on our phones and we can do some cool video shit, all of a sudden the aliens are back. But they've decided to come back now. They waited, now they're back. They waited, now they're back. Come on, man. God. It's so stupid. Anyway, all right. Military applications of AI. The Department of Defense emphasized its commitment to the ethical use of AI. Ethical. We have an ethical use of assassination technology. Okay. All right. Sounds good. The ethical use of AI and promoting cooperation in military AI applications, adopting principles. Listen, when these robots are finally ready, do we need any more humans to go get melted in war zones ever again? We have drones and crap. We have like little robot dogs that have badass machine guns. Can't they just shoot other robot dogs with badass machine guns? Do any humans need to get just obliterated? The only obliteration you should get is if you're dumb enough to get on the other side of the population 1 map against me and Jungle when we're playing population 1. If you're dumb enough to be on the other team, you get what you get. Otherwise, why do humans need to die in war zones? Why are there even war zones? Why does any of this crap need to be a thing? Can't we just have robots fight robots? And then you would say, well, if we're just trading hardware, should we have any exchange of violence? Yeah, probably not. Like, then you see then it's like painfully obvious how stupid human on human violence is, and how tech on human violence is dumb, and how tech on tech violence is dumb, and how we should really just get in a room and like have that kid that solved the Rubik's Cube in 3.1 seconds. I saw it. Man, 3.1 seconds, that little brainiac. Oh, I don't even know how to do a Rubik's Cube. That guy, 3.1 seconds. Crazy. Anyway, ideally, the U.S. Department of Defense is emphasizing the adopting of principles similar to NATO's and issuing a political declaration of responsible military use of AI and autonomy. You know what? AI is going to put these old war companies out of business. At first, they'll make money on it. Well, they'll make money because it's a bunch of fat, rich white dudes that sit in the middle of every deal and do deals behind your back when you're not paying attention. So I guess they'll be fine. Somehow the fat, rich white dudes always seem to prevail. How do they do it? Oh, they control all the money. So I guess good luck. Good luck, BlackRock, with your ETF application. I'm sure it's going to get the same fair treatment that all the other applications got at the SEC. Man, if that application passes, what a pile of bullshit. Really. I hope it does, because we need a spot Bitcoin ETF, but for real, what a racket. What a dumpster fire shit show. God. Anyway, MIT is enhancing autopilot for flying. This I like. This I do like. Israeli scientists at MIT have developed an innovative AI autopilot algorithm that enhances the stability of aircraft during potentially fatal or near fatal crash situations, according to non-peer-reviewed study. Let's wait till we get some peer-reviewed study in there. We need people that don't believe in it to go and try to poke holes in it. All right. Minting AI viruses. What? MIT researchers have warned about the risks of AI enabling the creation of dangerous new viruses, as demonstrated by an AI chatbot guiding non-experts to identify pandemic-causing pathogens and methods to deceive DNA synthesis companies. Yeesh. Well, yeah, if you give everyone all the data, not everyone is cool. Some people might want to do dickish things with such things. All right. Quantum computing. Intel's gearing up to ship its new 12-qubit quantum processor to academic research labs. Great. Yeah, cool. Let's get sooner the better. All right. Using AI to talk to animals. Scientists are using machine learning to decode animal communication, with the Earth Sciences Project leading the revolutionary approach to understanding the vocal cues of beluga whales, potentially transforming ethology and animal welfare initiatives. I think that's badass. I would love to talk to animals. Not all of them. Some animals would probably have not much to say, like a lot of these birds that just yap it up all day long, yapping it up. You know they're doing nothing useful. However, I would like to talk to cats and dogs. I think that we could have some cool conversations. And then once they've worn me out, I would like to talk to like whales, dolphins. Dolphins are like aggressive little rapey little sons of bitches. I would still like to talk to them because they're pretty smart. So yeah, I mean, I think talking to animals would be pretty badass, especially like our very near but kind of distant relatives in the bipedal primates. All right. Black Mirror's AI deepfake episode. The premiere episode of Black Mirror's 6th season, Joan is Awful is the title of the episode, presents a darkly comedic yet pertinent exploration of the contemporary anxieties about AI and our digital age. That's a big way of saying they blast AI and scare the piss out of everyone. All right. We're going to push the game theory off until Wednesday because that's more of like a private thing we do with digital heavyweights. And I feel like Wednesday, your brains will be more capable of AI, of game theorying, of game theorizing. Let's call it a day for now. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything that my poor, insolvent, drunk, strung out on meth grandmother would not do. As you know, that's very little. Be safe I guess we're on a holiday. Have a holiday. Try, since it's kind of a relaxed day, try something crazy today, everyone. Try doing something nice for somebody that you do not know. Buy someone a cup of coffee. Tell someone they're pretty. Do something nice. For Pete's sake, do something nice. If you can, if you have the capacity.